Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. In the realm of propaganda and keeping your armed forces morale high, or at least trying to prevent it from collapsing even more, after some really bad news, you have to immediately counter with some fantastic good news. Therefore, you're going to be able to erase from the short memory the bad news. Therefore, you're going to bombard with some good news for a few days, and the human brain will just forget about the big bad news that was reported a few days ago. I think this is the case with Avdiivka. Now, it's not to say that things don't occur daily, on a daily basis in Ukraine, on Ukraine front, but the fall of Avdiivka, which the Russians, it seems like they're about to capture because the Ukrainians are just running away. They say they have a controlled withdrawal. I don't think that's the way it is. I'm not even certain that Avdiivka is not encircled. We're going to find out in a few days, maybe one or two. But in the meantime, we have some Ukrainian reported successes, which is they succeeded in destroying, hitting, downing 3 Russian jets, Su-34 and Su-35, over the eastern front, because it's only one that is as of now. So I'm going to show you a few articles about this success that comes after the fall of Avdiivka, I would call it, and I will show you some pictures of the fighter jet and the bomber, Su, plural. So let's start with the first article coming from Ukrainska Pravda. It is from today, Saturday, February 17th, 2024. Air Defense Forces down 3 Russian aircraft in Ukraine's east this morning, exactly after they ordered the withdrawal. But it doesn't mean it doesn't happen. It's sometimes it happens. So these are the two Sukhoi 34, and this is a Sukhoi 35. I'm guessing, right? Well, we're going to find out, right? It says here that Ukraine Air Force units destroyed 3 Russian aircraft on the eastern front on the morning of February 17th. It is noted that 2 Russian Sukhoi 34 fighter bombers and 1 Sukhoi 35 fighter were shot down. So these are the 34s with those little things, and these are also 2-seaters. So it's a side-by-side seater, and this is the fighter bomber, and this is just the fighter Sukhoi 35. This is, I think, it's just a better version of Sukhoi 27, if I remember correct, or 29. I can't remember exactly, I think 27. But nevertheless, beautiful plane. And obviously the quote is, "Nothing will stop us. Thank you, soldiers, fighting for other people, not for your interest." Now let's look at the second article from Ukrinform. Ukrainian Air Force destroys 2 enemy Sukhoi 34s. I think this is a Sukhoi 34. It has the 2-seater and it has the little wings, flaps here up front. I will show you real pictures of these guys, because these are not real pictures. So 2 Russian Sukhoi 34 fighter bombers and 1 Sukhoi 35 fighter on the eastern front. The same thing here. Nothing will stop us. We are the best, and so on. According to the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, Ukrainian forces have destroyed 332 enemy aircraft and 325 Russian helicopters since the war began, if you choose to believe that. Now this is Sukhoi 34, the fighter slash bomber medium range. So it's 2-seater, side by side. These little flaps are just, you can identify easily by this 1, 2, and the 2-seater, versus the Sukhoi 35, which doesn't have those flaps here, and not a 2-seater. On the other hand, you can look at the goose face of this one right here versus the rounded, or how should I, conic, like cone tip of this airplane. So let's try to do it like this. Is better. See, that's different. 1-seater, nothing side by side, and the other one, the 34, is right here with the 2 flaps, and you have the 2-seater. You have this divider and these things open up. That's how they get out, left and right. And this is the tip, and you can see that is much better. And this one right here, you see how this is it. This is the Su-34 with two-seater, 1, 2, and the flaps. Okay, well, that is the airplanes. That's the information. This is the map. We don't know exactly where that occurred, because it's convenient to say we downed them somewhere along all this line. If you would say right here, some people would say, yeah, I need more details. Well, confidential information. So here it is, a success, because that's a success if that happened. But even if it didn't happen, that's not the purpose of that. The purpose of all this is to boost morale coming from, for its own troops. Understandable, that's the way you do it. And remember, the fall of Avdiivka, as I said many times before, when the Russians will capture it or conquer it or liberate it, whatever term you want to use, the Ukrainians and the Western media will say, actually, you know what? It was not important whatsoever. That's exactly what they said in an article published today. So they already added, saying, you know what, that Avdiivka is not important. The same thing they did with Mariupol, the same thing we'll do with Kupyansk, the same thing they did with Bakhmut, with Soledar. Let's fight. This is where the war is decided. Each and every time when they had a town, a city encircled or attacked by the Russians, because they were defending the town inside the town, not outside. So the Russians can shell the fuck out of it. So that makes sense, right? So then every time that happened, the Ukrainians said, well, we need to defend that one. I understand that we need to defend it. If that falls, the sky will just crack, and that's it. They fell, nothing really happened. I mean, it's a success. It's a city, it's a town destroyed, lives lost, not lost, taken, and taken by idiots. And then, they moved a little bit forward. So the same now. They talked about Avdiivka like it was the end of the world. If it falls, now it fell. And what happened? Actually, it doesn't mean anything. I have Zelensky in München, saying, actually, that doesn't do anything. It's nothing new. It's just, well, the thing with, how do you call it? The sour grapes. But you have to do this, you have to do this. What's next? Next is Kupyansk. So we're going to focus on Kupyansk next. I'm going to show you where Kupyansk is right here in the north, in Kharkov. This is the next one that's going to be attacked. The Russians are advancing here. Let me show you here. All these things are where they advanced in the past, let's say, month and a half, and they're getting closer to Kupyansk. They have to cross this little river here, which is always a hard thing to do, but if they break here, then it's easier to come from the north, and from the south the same, not necessarily straight. This is going to be like Stalingrad, on two sides divided. We'll see. So I think Kupyansk will be next, and we'll see how much the Ukrainians will be able to defend it from within the city. That is, the Russians will shell it. But hey, it is the Russians who started the war, correct? Unprovoked, so yeah. Okay. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.